All right, so now that we've got the basic idea of how styling works, I actually want to clean this up, and I want to do, I have a specific set of styling in mind. So I was happy with how the body looked, but I want to start working on other things. So I'm going to select our header, and actually what I'll do here to make this easier to follow is I'm going to split. So in here I can right-click and I can split right, and what that'll do is it'll open a tab over here as well. So that way I can kind of see what's going on in the HTML while I'm styling it. And if I'm done with this, I can just close this tab down and it will, go back to how it was before. But let's get that back open again, split right, switch back over to this tab. And so what I want to do with the header is I want the header to have a darker background than the rest of the page. Well, let me think here. Yeah, we're going to have the header have a slightly darker background. So what we'll do is we'll say background color is going to be 333, 333. So essentially just this really dark gray here, because remember that 0, 0, 0s is going to be, that's going to be black and all F's is going to be white. So this is a little shortcut. If the numbers are the same, you can just use 3 of them instead of 6 of them, but I'm going to do all 6 just to make it kind of clear what's going on here. But this is essentially going to make the background color of the header dark, and then I want the font color, which is just color, to be white. So to do that, I'm going to do FF. Another thing I could just type here is white. And so CSS has some built-in colors that you can use. It has a lot actually available. White's fine, or you could do FF, doesn't really matter. I'm going to give padding of 10x or 10px here, and we'll leave that how it is. So we're going to have 10px padding, and we'll do text align center. So this is going to center the stuff that's in our nav bar here, or in our header. And let's just see what this looks like right now. So if I go back up to my header, now it looks like this. So it's got its own little area here, which is cool. I want these to be lined up horizontally, so I'm going to have to do some styling here to get that to happen. So let's go back over to here again, and let's work on getting the rest of it to look good. So I'm going to start with the nav. And actually, what you can do is with the selectors, I can select not just the nav, but well, let's use a class here, actually. We'll use a class for this. So remember, these are list items here. Oh, you know what? I didn't even put the UL here. You guys are probably like, why did you have a list but you didn't wrap it? Yeah, I forgot to do that. So what I can do is select the UL here. Let's make it class equals, and we'll say nav UL. So one way that I could select this is nav space UL, which will select the nav and then the UL, but I like to use classes instead of using complex selectors like this. So we're going to do .nav UL, which is going to select this specific unordered list here. And then inside of here, what we're going to do is I'm going to do list style none. And what that's going to do is actually make the, should make the dots disappear. Wait, hold on, let me see. Didn't really do anything. I thought list style none. I don't know, let's continue on. I think it'll do it once I get the lining correctly. So what I want to do now is actually do these list items here. So for these list items, let's demonstrate this. So nav UL and then LI. So that's going to select, do not use empty rule sets, that's fine. That's going to select the nav UL here, but it's also, oh, you know what it was? I didn't save this, that's why. Save all. Oh, maybe not. Okay. Oh, it did. So you see all these dots are gone now, actually. So the styling update that I did there, it took effect now. So there's no dots anymore, which is what list style none was supposed to do. Inside here, we're going to use display inline. And what that's going to do is it should make it so that these list items are now on the same line, just like that. Boom, boom, boom. Beautiful. Very cool. And the problem right now is these are purple, which is a visited link. I want to actually update these. I don't want them to be underlined, and I don't want them to be purple anymore. I want them to be white, and we'll still know they're links, but I just want them to be white. So what I can do now is I can do nav ul, and then I can do li, and then a. So now I'm selecting the nav ul, li. Oh, I have these in the wrong order here for that. Let me invert these. I'm going to put the ahrefs inside. The order shouldn't matter too much, but I think it's better practice to put, oh, you see it, VS Code added the /A's there, so I'm going to have to take out these extra /A's here, get rid of these. There we go. I'm just kind of changed the nesting order. There we go, that's fine. And now I can use this selector here, which is going to be nav ul lia, and that's going to select the nav ul, and then it's going to class, and then it's going to select any list item in there, and it's going to select the a anchor tags. And what I want to do is change this to be color and then white, and then we're going to change the text decoration to be none. And what that's going to do is get rid of the underline that comes by default here. And now we have this nice looking setup up here, which is pretty good. You know, we're getting there. I think we'll probably have to do some more advanced things to get it to look really good, but we're getting the basics down. And now what I would like to do is I want to kind of change these sections around a little bit. Let's go ahead and add a 20, let me see here. I'm not sure how good this is going to look. Padding 20px. Or maybe I do it in the main. Oh, okay, so I have the main section here. So let's do it in main. And yeah, let's do main. And then I'm going to do padding 20px here. And we'll see what the change is when I save this. It just gives us a little extra space here. I didn't want that to affect the header because I kind of want the header to stretch across all of that stuff there. It's pretty much across the screen. There's a little bit of edge there, but I'm okay with that. I could get rid of the margins completely, potentially, and make it really touch over there, but I'm okay with this. What else do I need to do here? Oh, my image is just out of hand right here. It's way, way, way too big. Let's shrink it down quite a bit. So what I can do is I can either select it as image, but I wouldn't really want to do that, right? Because what if I have other images that I want to put on? I don't want them to be styled the same as the profile. So I'm going to put an ID here because I'm only going to have one of these, so I can use ID rather than class. I'm going to say profile image. And then over here, I'll create a selector for that, which is going to be hashtag because it's an ID profile image. And let's do border radius 50%. Now this is going to have a really cool effect. See if you can try to figure out what the heck that's going to do. Remember that border radius creates rounded corners, usually based off pixels. But imagine that we're rounding 50% of the image regardless of what the size is. And then I'm going to do a width of 200px. Oh, I need a semicolon here. And let's see what that does to our profile image. It completely rounds it actually. It's kind of oval because my image wasn't actually square. So I'm going to do height 200px as well. There we go. It did a little bit of a stretch. You know, I didn't select a perfect image for this. It's a pretty good image though, but it did a little bit of a stretch there. It's fine, but this gave us this nice circle image here. And trying to figure out what else I want to do here. Section. So I have my sections here. Maybe I can do some styling specific to these sections. So let's do that. We'll do section. And then for the sections, I'm going to do margin 20px. Yeah, just give a little extra buffer space to these guys. I I want to style these H2s here within the section. So let's do section H2. I know I said before that I didn't want these compound selectors here, but actually I realized it's good practice to sort of understand what's going on here. So this should only apply to H2s that are inside of our sections, which would be these ones right here. So kind of the headers that go within the sections. And what I want those to look like is, let's give them a border. So I'm going to say border bottom, 2px, solid, and we'll make it the same 3333. And basically what this is doing, border bottom, it sets 3 different things. It sets the line width, line style, and the color. And this is only along the bottom here. And then we're going to have padding bottom. So before we had just padding, and this is all 4 sides getting 10px, but I want to create a little padding on the bottom to create some more space between that border that we're creating there. Make sure we get our semicolons. And look at that. So now our little sections have their own lines underneath, which are pretty darn cool, I think. That's quite good. And I think things are coming around pretty well. I'm kind of happy with how this is looking right now, as far as a very basic little website here. There's probably some other stuff I might want to do. Maybe I want to get this over to the side here instead of underneath. And I can do that the same way I did with the display here. Let's see, we might have to rearrange some stuff here. So inside of here, I need to group these together somehow. So what I'm going to do is create a div, and I'm going to make the ID equal profile div. So it's only going to be for this profile. And I'm going to put both of these things inside of here. And then what I'll do is I'll grab this profile div and do inline here. So we'll go profile div, and we'll say display inline. And that did not do what I wanted it to do. Here, I'm inspecting. Okay, we got that, we got that. I think by default, the P is actually going to give it a line break. So what I might need to do here is, instead of using a P, I think I can use something called a span. I mean, I could just restyle it, but I'm going to use a span here instead of a P. And that did something. It kind of lined it up at the bottom here. That's kind of cool. I'm going to have to play around with this to figure out what's going on here, why they're not lining up how I want. I think I might need to use a flex display here. Display inline. Flex. Let's see. Display. What do we have for display? Inline. How about inline block? No, I feel like I should be able to use a P here anyway, even though, because that's not what the issue is. Display inline block. Sometimes CSS can be extremely finicky here, so just bear with me for a moment. I think, I'm trying to think of how to do this. Is it going to be flex? Display flex. There we go. So display flex is kind of what it is. I probably want to do some more spacing here as well. So what I can do is add a little bit of margin, maybe let's do margin 20px here, and that's just going to push this out a little bit. Probably want to do some styling here to make this look a little bit better as well. Make it a little bit bigger, so we can say class equals profile text or something like that. Come back over here, not class, we'll say ID. ID equals profile text, and we can make the size, the text size, font size. Font size can be, say 20px. Ooh, that didn't do it. Oh, okay, save here. There we go. So that's going to make it a little bit bigger there. Not too bad. 30px, too big. Oh my gosh, pretty big, but actually not terrible. Okay. Anyway, yeah, that's looking pretty good. I would recommend just continuing to work on this styling, make it your own, use different fonts if you want. And I think we'll probably do a little bit of JavaScript to help us make this stuff a little bit more dynamic because it's going to get out of hand pretty quickly. So we're going to get into some more advanced stuff in the next lesson, but for now we have a basic, decent looking portfolio page. And yeah, I definitely recommend making it your own though.